A lot of times we'll put conditions on what we can and cannot accept. We put conditions on when we will accept ourselves. So I'll accept myself when I'm rich. I'll accept myself when I have the job that I want. I'll accept myself when I have 1,000,000 cats and a treehouse in the forest and all the food I could ever want. What's up, my allies? It's another beautiful day. Welcome to Thank You Universe. Let's get right into it. Today's topic is learning to accept what is and accepting ourselves. And I had a very direct message from the universe about accepting what is as I was trying to record this video earlier, and then wouldn't you know it, nope, the memory card was full. So I was already like in the flow of it, going on this video, and then it stopped, and I'm like, well, guess I just have to accept it. So accepting what is something that not a lot of people have practiced a lot in their lives, and something that maybe you need permission to learn to accept it. So, you know, if you need permission from someone, I'm not anyone special, but you have my permission. You can accept yourself. You can accept what is. Why don't we accept what is, and why don't we accept who we are? Oftentimes we think we need to be different. We need to be better than how we are. We need to be fit. We need to have a different job. We need to look a certain way. We need to have a certain partner. We need to have a certain lifestyle. So a lot of times we don't accept the life that we have. We don't accept who we are. And we feel like we need to be someone else. A lot of people say they wish that they were someone else. Like, oh, if I were this person, then I could accept it. I could accept my life. If I were Bill Gates, wait, is he still alive? Sorry. If I were this famous celebrity who had everything I ever wanted, if I were this Warren Buffett, rich billionaire, then I could accept it. But there's really no point wishing to be someone other than who you are, because you are who you are. You can't help it. You just are. Like, I'm Wembe. That's who I am. I couldn't be anything other than myself. You are who you are. You can't be anyone other than who you are. So we can make choices and take action and learn to accept things as they are, but we are who we are. It's kind of like the Lord's Prayer. What is it? Grant me the strength. That's not the Lord's Prayer. It's a religious teaching. Grant me the strength to change what I can change and accept what I cannot change. And acceptance is the best strategy in this situation of existence. A lot of times we'll put conditions on what we can and cannot accept. We put conditions on when we will accept ourselves. So I'll accept myself when I'm rich. I'll accept myself when I have the job that I want. I'll accept myself when I have 1,000,000 cats and a treehouse in the forest and all the food I could ever want. But the thing is, when your brain is in this habit of not accepting yourself and putting all these conditions, there's always going to be another step. So maybe you say, okay, once I get this job, then I can accept my life and who I am. You get the job, the brain just moves it on up to the next thing. Nope, sorry, can't accept it until I get this next thing. You have the job, but now you need a better job, or you need a partner, or you need a better car, or you need to be better at your job. You just need to be better. You always need to be better, and you cannot accept yourself as you are. But we need to learn to accept ourselves and accept our lives as they are. That's truly all we can do. So Like, for example, when the video stopped recording, you know, I could just have a real bad time and be like, no, why isn't it working? I can't accept this. Or I can say, you know what? I accept it, and I'm gonna drive home and come back with a fresh memory card. So, there's this monk, and I forget which monk it was. I listen to a lot of monks. I try to give people credit where I can, but I'm not perfect, and I accept that. And I accept myself where I am. And they say that pain is part of life. It is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. So when we're in pain, that is our visceral experience. That is our sensation. That is what is going on in life. And we can learn to accept that pain, or we magnify it and we suffer. We fixate on this pain. We say, why? Why do I have this pain? I can't accept it. Maybe you have a chronic illness, an invisible illness of some kind. Maybe your heart got broken. You say, why? I cannot accept it. You feel the pain and then you suffer. You choose to suffer. And, it might be hard to see suffering as a choice, especially when we have a strong habit built that is one that is continually suffering, but it is something that we can learn to choose not to do by learning to accept what is. And you can't force it. You just have to accept it and do what you can. So, on this topic, I really like what Alan Watts has to say on this topic. Alan Watts is one of my favorite thinkers, and he talks about the ego and this idea that we think we need to be better, basically. And the ego thinks it can force itself to change and make itself better. But the thing is, who is the person that is becoming better other than you? So you are what you are, but you somehow think you can force yourself to be better because you can't accept yourself. So when you learn to accept yourself, you realize that it is a part of your journey. This whole life is a part of the journey, and it's you who's going to be doing the improving eventually. So as Alan Watts asks, well, who's it gonna be that's doing the improving? It's you. So self-improvement, that's the field that I'm in, self-improvement, yet we might not think of it as self-improvement. It's not so much growth as it is unfolding. So this is my own personal belief. Maybe it resonates with you, maybe it doesn't, but it is a useful way to think about it. I believe that we are the universe, and that we are the universe experiencing itself, observing itself, and the universe is already everything. So if there is perfection, the universe is that. And everything that we will become one day is already us, because time is a human perception. It's just how we go about having these experiences so we can feel like we're living a continuous story. But the pinnacle version of ourselves, the great version of ourselves that we want to be, that we think we could accept, that's already us. So we're just on our path right now. We are on our journey, and we're going to get there eventually in our perception of time. But we need to learn to accept what is in the now. So you might find yourself, if you don't learn to do this, you might find yourself on your deathbed one day and thinking, life was actually pretty awesome. I'm glad I got to live it. But if only I had learned this lesson sooner, I could have enjoyed it every step of the way. So we have to learn to accept what is in the only moment that exists, the only one we can experience, which is now. The only moment is now, and we need to learn to accept what is occurring now, whether we feel that it is good, whether it is bad, whether it is painful. A lot of people think that they need to feel a certain way. Ooh, there's a fly that really likes my eyelashes. We need to feel a certain way, we need to be a certain way, and when we aren't the way that we think we're supposed to be, we can't accept it. So you need to learn to accept both the good and the bad in the moment. It's all a part of your journey. This life, remember, it's like the saying goes, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And this life is a journey. It's a beautiful journey. And this moment that you're experiencing, maybe you're having some pain, maybe you're going through a hard time. It's all a part of your beautiful journey. And your journey is beautiful because your life is art. Your life is a beautiful metaphor. You are both the masterpiece and the work in progress at the same time. So when you learn to accept things as they are in the moment, then you can actually feel peace more often instead of constantly having stress and anxiety thinking about the future. It's like, when I get there, then I'll relax. When I get there, then I can learn to accept myself. You might find this if you're in school, for example, maybe you've had this experience where you're like, high output of work you have to do and you're like constantly working and struggling and stressed out, and then summer break comes along or winter vacation, whatever it may be, and you're still stressing out because you're like, I don't know what to do. I feel like I still need to be doing something. That's something I've totally experienced. Like when I was in school, I was super busy, was working like my last year I was working 3 jobs and full-time, and I had my whole schedule busy and I was stressing. And when I got out of school, it's just like, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something because we haven't learned to accept what is in the moment. So when the time comes, when you actually get that free time where you told yourself, then I'll be able to relax and feel happy and peaceful, you still can't, because you haven't learned to accept the moment and you've trained your brain to think about the future. But we can rewire the brain and teach ourselves to learn to accept the moment, whatever that is. So I was just talking to my friend about this. It's like that saying, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay. It really is okay. So in the moment, if you're feeling maybe sad, you're depressed, you're angry, you're jealous, you don't feel good inside, that's okay. So just admit it to yourself. Don't try and deny it or run from it. Just say, I feel terrible. And it's okay. I accept it. This is all a part of my beautiful journey. So we can learn to accept it and not force it and let it unfold. And when you learn to accept the moment and trust who you are and trust your journey and trust that things will turn out okay instead of constantly fearing the future, then it comes. The peace comes when you learn to trust it. Things unfold. And now you might have some objections to that and say, how do you know everything's going to turn out okay? Maybe I die in a horrible accident. Maybe everything that I know and love gets destroyed. Maybe I'm going to die in some terrible way. Maybe. But you can learn in the moment to accept the fact that that's a possibility. Also accept that you are in this moment and you are going to live your best life, and you accept whatever happens, come what may, you're going to make the most of it. So allow it to unfold. Allow yourself to become the person that you want to be gradually, instead of constantly feeling like you're not good enough. Understand that you are in the process. You are in your beautiful journey right now. If you're recording a video and you totally lose flow of what you're trying to say and you just start jumbling your words, just accept it. It's a part of the process. You'll get better. If you are an athlete and you aren't performing at the level that you want to yet, your ideal level, You're growing, you are learning. Even when you fail, failure is a lesson. You're learning, it's a part of your journey. And you're becoming the person that you ultimately desire to become. Especially when you accept it. As I said, when you accept it and trust, then you're no longer hampered by all of the stress that you're going through. So if you're constantly stressing about the fact that you're not where you think you should be, or not performing at the level you think you should be at, you're just hemorrhaging, just spurting out energy. So when you learn to accept it, you can actually put yourself in a better position to live the life that you want to live and become the person that you think you should be, because you're no longer just seeping out energy and feeling drained from all the stress that you're putting yourself under all the time from these expectations, these extraordinary expectations. I know you do it. I know you do it. I know you have these incredible expectations for yourself, and you are never living up to them because they are extraordinary, and then you are constantly stressing and feeling like you need to be better and you can't enjoy the moment. So just take a deep breath. The world is on fire. That's okay. Just gonna keep breathing. I just stubbed my toe. It hurts. I feel pain. Understandably, I accept it. My heart was broken. I still feel longing for this person. I still love this person, even though they hurt me. I accept it. It's part of my journey. So you can see how this tool or this thought process and mindset can be useful to you. You can learn to face any challenge. You can learn to accept anything that can happen. And if you couldn't take this thought process into the real world, what use would it be? So when you're alone and away from everything in your room, maybe you're meditating, you're like, yeah, I got this, I'm at peace. But then you go out into the real world and people bother you, people cut you off, people say hurtful things to you, and then you start to stress out and you say, fuck it, things aren't the way they should be, I don't accept it. No. You train yourself to accept those situations and train yourself to take this into the real world, because that's what you're using it for. You're living your life in the real world, even though life is totally a hologram and an illusion. But the real world, you learn to accept these things as they come in the real world and just be at peace with whatever happens. You know, maybe things didn't go the way you were expecting. That's okay. You can learn to accept it and have this attitude of acceptance. It's like you have to be able to do this in the world. Like these enlightened figures, these beings that people look up to, like a Christ figure or a Gandhi figure. They dealt with some crazy, difficult challenges, and despite this earth and all of the challenges it can present and how awful it can feel in moments, they accepted it and they transcended it. They overcame the world. And that's what we're trying to do here, is to overcome the world and accept that we are part of this world. We are on our journey, our beautiful journey, and we can learn to embrace every moment, whether it is what we expected or not. It's this attitude of detachment, where you're not attached to the outcome, or you're not resistant to the outcome. You're not clinging to things you want and pushing away things that you don't. Yes, you have goals. Yes, you have intentions and aspirations, but you learn to accept when things don't go the way that you had initially intended or even hoped that they would. And don't take this attitude as an excuse to not be your better version. So you're just like, oh, well, I accept myself no matter what, so I'm just gonna go punch people and stab people and rob a bank. Like, no. It's not like that. It's like you accept it and you still do your best. Yes, accept yourself no matter what. Like, even if everyone around you thinks you're a shitty person, even if you feel like nobody likes you, you're alone, yes, accept it. Don't use that as an excuse to bury yourself in your woes and say, well, nothing's going the way that I want, so I just accept it. Because are you really accepting it if you think nothing's going the way you want? No, you're just kind of giving up on a way. You're losing hope of things going the way that you want. So this detachment is, it was put to me in a very enlightening way, a way that resonates with me. People think of detachment as you don't own things, you're far away from society, maybe you're a monk living in a hill and you're detached from everything. No, true detachment, you still own things, you're still a part of society, but you can roll with it, you can go with the flow. If, something bad happens, like you get in a car accident, you don't have attachment to it. You accept what it is, and you try not to get in a car accident, and you do your best to fulfill your life purpose and your actualized goals, but you're not attached to the outcome. And that way, no matter what comes at you in this life, you'll be able to accept it. And life, you'll find, will be a lot more enjoyable because you can learn to be in the moment and accept what is instead of regretting the past or dreading the future and living in fear and not accepting yourself as you are. You're perfect. You are in this moment. It's all a part of your beautiful journey. You will get to where you want to be, but want to be where you are right now. It's all a part of your beautiful journey. So, thank you very much for tuning into this video. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it, if you gained something from it. If you want some more, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you, universe. Much love to all my allies out there. And I hope that this has been useful to you in some way. It certainly helped me in my life, and I'm not perfect, I just try and share the messages that have helped me grow, and that's why I think it can work for you. So, again, I hope it helps. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.